G'day viewers, it's time for the news. Train Sim World 3 patch notes, save game and UI improvements, 12th of October, 13th for the Aussies. As always, I'm reading you these articles for purposes of improving the accessibility. Hello folks, we're coming in fast with the second of several post-release updates, bringing fixes to the recently reintroduced save game functionality and a large range of UI improvements, quality of life changes and fixes. We want to thank you all for keeping your feedback coming, and we will keep improving Train Sim World 3 to the best it can be with more updates to come. Major headings, save game. We are still collecting all your feedback on save game, and we have made improvements to various save and resume game issues, particularly with AI trains that were happening on different routes. Please continue to send any reports or problems to us, or if you've been experiencing issues you've now seen these improved with today's patch, let us know on the forums. Major headings, settings and UI. This update also brings loads of fixes and new additions to our menus and interfaces. Some key additions based off community requests include liveries on train selection now displaying the original route they come from, and new go via and stop at objective icons. Ho ho ho. Oh, and the mouse sensitivity slider will now work. I'm gonna go try that. Maybe I can replace my custom UI settings that I've had for years. So we're looking at a screenshot, which is from the new menu, which shows the train and what route it came from, which is really, really good when you're trying to choose a service based on the train. Excellent. We're also looking at another pair of screenshots with the stop in location icon as a big hand. Do that higher, a big hand. And the go via is a swoosh. Is it a swoosh? No, it couldn't be a swoosh. Surely that's trademarked. The experience for controllers has been made smoother. We've added gamepad button prompts for settings in the pause menu, fixed issues when moving around the 2D map, and you can now hover over the search bar and filter buttons in route selection menus. When using the A or X buttons, a virtual keyboard will open. That's cool. Major header, gameplay. Loco add-on bundle. We've heard your... It says sprayers. Sprayers. And upgraded the RHTT water spray effect. Oh, it's trying to be a pun. Trying to be. Anyway, they've updated the RHTT water spray effect to be truer to life. i.e. you can see it. Wagon buffer physics issues have been resolved. Yay, and the weathering effects will now appear on the windows, including on the windows of the Class 66. Rain on the 66, yay, finally. Additionally, the BR182 disk block will also correctly substitute on DB Cargo Deutschland. And it's not just the menus that are getting easier to navigate. The LZB introduction tutorial will be easier to complete as the Loco can move again after stopping, and we've reduced the F7 training point requirements for your silver and gold medals. Please see a full changelog of the patch below. Major header, full changelog. Minor header, save game. General improvements with save and resume game functionality. Minor header, UI, user interface for us. Mouse sensitivity slider will now function as intended. Added new icons for go via and stop at objectives. Re-added back button to pause menu. It's back, baby, literally. Changing measurement units to Imperial will now impact all HUD settings. Crosshair size settings will now be saved after exiting and reloading the game. Level 5 or higher profiles will be recommended experienced option on profile import. Resume last played button will now display a suitable image on the home screen for various routes. UI selection menus. Minor header. When selecting a service, duration times for other services will no longer disappear. You can now see how many services you can play when viewing trains. Trains section should show trains from services rides. Completing a scenario or tutorial will also mark it as complete in your journey mode. Yay! Scenarios and tutorials for uninstalled content will no longer show. When in the route selection menu, hovering over a route thumbnail will correctly show the route details. Selecting a livery on the train selector will now show which route that livery comes from. Livery editor will now default to dark mode, the one true prevailing mode. Minor header UI-text. Text will no longer scroll out of the boundary when starting a route. Exit game button text will no longer flicker. Decreased task padding around text on task list rows. Minor header UI console. Added the gamepad button prompts for settings in the pause menu. Navigation around the 2D map is now corrected on controllers. When using a controller, you can now hover over the search bar and filter buttons in the route selection menus. A virtual keyboard will open when pressing A or X. Or is it A and X? I'm not sure. Let me know. On PS4, the RB button can now be used in the pause menu to get to the settings menu. On PS4, you will no longer be prompted to save changes when nothing is altered when exiting settings. Minor header gameplay. Driver's hair will no longer stick outside of the hat. We finally fixed this hat-breaking bug. Scary. Southeastern High Speed. Increased station stop times on high-speed run scenario to give correct sense of operating a late service. Better not wait around. Fixed AI spawning issue in the 0935 London to Ashford service. RHTT. Water spray effect has been improved to be truer to life. Weather effects will now appear on the windows. Fixed issues with wagon buffer physics. Class 66. Gamepad and or rail driver can release vigilance pedal when driving EWS. Yay. Weather effects will now appear on the windows. EM2000 emissive text will now be clearly visible. Does that mean it's going to get rain on all 66 windows? No wonder it's a big update. Training Center Class 66 fixes to the coupler animation. Cab lights will now give first time use reward. Removed semicircular artifacts underneath wagons. AWS Sunflower will now correctly work. Subheader Castle Wurzburg. Train should move again after stopping in the LZB introduction tutorial. NPCs should not clip into each other while sitting in the chairs. Billboard will now display on both sides. Player can no longer walk through the fence at Fulda Yard. Fixed lighting on cars around Castle Station. Removed the bench from the track between platform 7 and 8 at Fulda Station. That was kind of funny. NPC clothes will no longer appear wet on sunny days. Dispolock BR182 will now correctly substitute on DB Cargo Deutschland. DB layers. Removed semicircular artifacts underneath the wagons. DB Smuggers. Removed semicircular artifacts underneath the wagons. DB Heavens. Changes to physics. Cajon Pass. 2D minimap will now correctly display the start and end point markers. Advertisements should now correctly display on double-sided billboards. Time to displayed to complete F7 training and switching it up scenarios are now accurate to actual gameplay. F7 training now includes manually using the coupling bar. F7 training requirements for silver and gold medals have been reduced. Subheader West Cornwall Local. The West Cornwall Local route intro can now be completed. Subheader Other Locos. The BR-DB 101 changes to physics for BR 101 and coaches. And that's it. If you found this useful, give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments, chuck them down below. You know where they go. And if you haven't already, chuck me a subscribe. And if you want notifications for new content so you never have FOMO, click the little tinkly thing. See you later. Bye.